How's it going, everybody? Paul with Road Trip Transport here. Today we're going to do a little talk. We're at home, as you can see. I'm going to get to the good videos here next. So I'm going to do a couple more videos, I think, while I'm home. And then I may release them when I'm back on the road so that you guys can get some good videos here. I'm making this video, and the reason why I'm talking to you guys today this way instead of going to our whiteboard or anything like that is I saw another YouTuber going under. There's been a lot. I'm not naming names. If a lot of you guys follow some of the bigger ones, you know who they are. But there's been a lot of YouTubers going under, and I wish them nothing. I want nothing but the best for them. But what I want to point out to everybody is the dangers of YouTube and of Facebook and of social media and getting your information from there. I've said this before, but I want to compound on it. I want to use these examples to make a point here, right? I saw a Facebook post. I'm on the Facebook groups, and I saw a Facebook post the other day that said, just curious why so many people are selling their trailers. And when you read the comments, it's because I'm upgrading, because I'm going to a semi, because it's time for a new trailer, because we're adding trailers, because we're changing the type of trailer we're using, because so on, so forth, all of this stuff. However, that being said, what you don't see are the guys that sold their trailers because they failed, okay? And this is why it's so bad. What you don't see is those who sold their equipment or got it repoed, because why? They left that Facebook group, or they don't post on there. Nobody's posting this. And this is my problem with Facebook and YouTube. You only see the success stories, or you see the exaggerated view of success stories. You see this guy bragging about this load, or this guy bragging about that load. Yet I have yet to meet a millionaire hotshotter. I have yet to meet a hotshotter that's not living paycheck to paycheck. I have yet to meet a hotshotter that's got $300,000 saved up in the bank. I've yet to meet him. I have not seen that person. So my point here is just simply, you have got to be very, very careful when watching these. Because do you know what happens when these YouTubers go out of, the big ones go out and they disappear? They disappear. And the new people, you guys that are getting into this business, you don't see them anymore. You don't know about them. They disappear off into the middle of nowhere. They're not continuing to make videos about how they failed. They're not continuing to make videos about how they went out of business, right? And nobody wants to hear, I failed. But, it happens. It can happen to me. It can happen to anyone. We're still here, thank goodness. We're still here. We're still operating. But it really was, I saw another one going out, or potentially going out. And it's been a slew of them, And for those of you guys that are jumping in, a lot of these guys had their crap together. They weren't necessarily just people that had no idea what they were doing. These were good hotshot guys for the most part, and they're gone. And you'll never hear of them. And I'm not going to name names or anything, but most of them, their channels are deleted. Their channels are gone. Their videos are gone. Even their old videos, they're all gone. And Facebook's notorious for this, and I say this all the time. If you see someone bragging about how much they made per mile, I get on the soapbox all the time. If you see someone bragging about how much they've made per mile, just ignore it. Don't pay attention to that. Don't use that to make your decision to jump into hotshotting. What they're not telling you is they're going broke. Most of them are going broke, and here's why. They're thinking $4 a mile on an 80-mile load is a wonderful load. Meanwhile, they don't have a backhaul back. They got a deadhead half of the distance. They got a deadhead 40 miles to go get the load. When you factor in all the time they're driving around empty, they made $1.20 on that $4 a mile load. Do not worry about the miles. If someone's going to brag on Facebook, tell me how far you drove to go get that load, how far that load went, and what that load paid. That's how you know that a load paid well. This per mile flex that everyone does is stupid, and please just ignore them. Okay, do not use that as data to say, oh, I should get into this and do this type of business, because it's wrong. Okay, so that's my deal on, I think YouTube and Facebook are good lessons. You see the 20% of the success stories. You do not see, and again, I think you see an exaggerated view of those in most cases. Most everyone lies about what they're making. I think we're doing pretty good. And if you watch my episode 10, you can see what our numbers are on our truck, what our exact numbers are. And I can guarantee you 95% or more of the people are not tracking it like I do. They do not track every single mile and pick and drop of every truck and track it with an Excel spreadsheet that automatically calculates their true cost, or income per mile, gross per mile. So I can guarantee you most people aren't doing that. They have no clue. If they guess. If you ask them what they're averaging, they're like, yeah, I'm averaging 2. They're probably averaging $1.20, and they don't know that, right? It's mind open. I had a guy, again, I'm not going to name names. I had a guy using my spreadsheet. I gave him his own, but it was on a cloud so we could both see it. And he thought he was doing pretty good. And he put all of his info in and hit enter, and realized he was making $1.50 a mile, all miles. Now, that's sustainable. But that's not great. It's not what he thought he was doing. Not even close. So it's very important to know what that is. And it's very important to not use YouTube and Facebook as judges. They are, like I said, you're not seeing the 80% that fail. You're not watching the guy make the YouTube video of Repo Man taking his stuff, or of him getting bent over at the dealership because his truck's got 300,000 miles on it. You can't get rid of it. So that's my word of caution today on YouTube and Facebook. Use them. I want to make this clear. Don't just turn a blind eye. You need to use them, but you need to see through the bullcrap. You need to understand that what you're seeing is an inflated view, a vastly inflated view of the few people that are succeeding, not the 80% that are failing. And we're seeing this on YouTube creators. Of all the YouTube creators, we're almost at 80% have disappeared that I follow and watch, and so on and so forth. You think about 80% are gone, just like the about 4 out of 5 they're disappeared. So anyway, that's my deal on that. Partials. I'm going to talk very quickly. We're going to switch topics here. We're going to talk very quickly about partials again. I'm going to talk about partials for one main reason. I've done a lot of math on these. I've done a lot of analysis. Okay, I've asked for people to provide me information. The ones that say they're doing partialing, not one person has gotten back to me on it. Do not partial with this. Partialing is stupid for this industry. And by partialing, you'll have to excuse my kids downstairs, so you might hear yelling every now and then. Partialing is stupid for Hotshot. I don't know where this came into. Now, let me back up here. Taking 2 loads at the same time that you're allowed to partial, that you're making 30 to 40% over lane rate total, once you factor in all of the, and you guys can go watch a couple of my episodes. I do the proper way to calculate partials. I'm not going to get into it here. Most people are not calculating it correctly. You do not take the rate per mile of each load, add them together, and think that's what you're making, because you're not making anywhere near that. Okay, except for the occasional load that you pick up and drop off in the same place, you're not making that. All right, but if you calculate them correctly, you're making 30 to 40% over lane rate. Okay, and they're paying, and in order to do that, I found they need to pay about 80% of the lane rate. So if that lane pays $2.50 and you're taking a partial at $1 a mile, you need about 5 partials just to make the same amount of money that I'm going to make hauling one load for $2.50. Okay, and I don't know where this partial thing for Hotshot came from. Hotshot was never about partialing, ever. Hotshot started out as a get one thing here to there very quickly. Okay, and then it's morphed into this. You got to stack partials to make money. You don't. We're not. I've done maybe 3 or 4 partials. And the only reason I've done those partials is because the first load that went on, I could haul there and make money by itself. And then we got permission to put something else on. My computer just went away. Maybe you can see me better now. So do not, and let me, and I'll do some numbers. I'll get into this for my next few videos. I'm going to show you actually why. it doesn't make sense to partial because let me put it this way. Most of the people partialing are going out of business. Right? They couldn't make it hauling regular loads because they were taking cheap freight. So now they're trying to stack cheap freight on top of each other, and they're going more in the hole. How do I know this? Because there's loads running 1,000 miles paying $800 and they're disappearing off the board. Okay, they are not. It's people who aren't making it taking regular loads who are now trying to stack more cheap freight on top of each other. And again, I have a solution for this, and I'll get into it when I do the analysis. Buy a big truck. If your game is partialing and let's say you're good at it, there are a few people who are good at it with Hotshot. You're gonna be twice as profitable with a big truck. It makes no sense to me. If partialing is your game, then you would want to maximize your ability to haul partials. You shouldn't be hauling partials on a Hotshot truck. If you're good at it, think about this, right? And again, I'll get into the exact numbers, but I'm going to just wing some here. You're making $1 a mile going cross country, okay? Going 2,000 miles, let's say. You're making $1 a mile for 2 loads, 2 10,000-pound loads. You're maxed out on that Hotshot rig. You're making $2 a mile. You're making less than I can make on one load going over there. Now you get a big truck and you stack 5 of those partials or 4. You're making $4 or $5 a mile. Now again, that math is not correct because it's not actually going to be 4 or 5. Watch my videos on that. It's going to be $3.50 a mile. Whereas the Hotshot's probably going to make him $1.20 a mile. Okay, when it's all said and done. So if your game is partialing, it is stupid to do it with a Hotshot. I'm going to come right out and straight up and say it. And I preceded this by saying, talking about people. I've asked people for data. I have run numbers. I have done countless amounts of calculations on partialing, on trying to put together partials that don't work, on the partials we do take, which are not many. You better believe if you see partials on my truck, one of them is paying full lane rate or close to it, and then the other one is not 50 cents a mile. It's still making, on 1,000 miles, it still better be paying $1,200-1,500. The cheap one, right? I don't take 80-cent a mile loads. I don't take 60-cent a mile loads. Those can sit. Those are cheap freight. I don't care if they're a partial. That's cheap freight. I don't waste the time to stack. People say, well, you could just quick grab it. If you've run this business for a long time, you know that it's very hard to hit appointments. It's very hard to, you could easily lose a day trying to pick up that $300 partial. And in that day, you've lost. My truck's on its way with another load paying $2.50 a mile going somewhere else. Okay. So don't say, well, you can just throw it on. Most of these cases, yeah, do you get lucky? You lucky where a load's right off the interstate. You hop off, it takes you 10 minutes, you throw it on, it's 2 straps and you go, sure. But you guys know as well as I do, if you're doing this, that a lot of times out there, you get there, it's not ready. They're not ready. They're not there. They're on lunch. They're on break. It's 2 p.m. They went home early. They're gone. You got to wait till the next day. You got to cancel it. So many things go wrong that $300 ends up costing you money and you don't realize it. Okay. So quit hauling partials if you're a Hotshot. Unless, like I said, unless those partials basically are to almost lane rate deal. And here's the deal. I'm open to be proven wrong. Somebody prove me wrong. I have been saying this forever. Somebody who's doing really well on partials, prove me wrong. Give me the data. I'm not going to, I might talk about you on one of my videos, but I'm not going to, anonymously. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to share anything. I'm not going to post your name. I'm not going to, but why aren't these people who say, when I send them messages and say, hey, help me out here. I want proof. I do this YouTube thing. I want proof that partials are actually making you money. Nobody can provide me with the data. Nobody will. Not a single person has. So I'm open to be proven wrong here, guys, but nobody's done it. Okay? And I'm going to show you those numbers in a later video. Real quick road trip update. We're going to put it at the end here. We're doing good. Freight seems to be picking up a little bit. I think part of that is we've got a few directs now, whereas last year we didn't have any at this time. Now we've got some directs, so we're able to kind of mix some of those in. We've been doing some oversize. Oversize I'll do a video on oversize because so many people are taking cheap oversize. and not realizing what it's costing them. We're doing some oversized now, and my guys are doing some oversized, so that's big. You know, I've been the only one that's been doing oversized. Now I'm letting some of my guys do some oversized. What else do we have going on? We're, like I said, we've got some directs. Yeah, and we've got some good relationships with some good brokers. Okay, we've got some good relationships with, I would say some good, very, you know, for us, some good brokers, some honest brokers who tell us straight up what they're making. They don't care. They know we're gonna, you know, we want to let them keep some money. It's part of their job. So we've got some good brokers in some good areas that we have repeat business with. That's good. I've said before, brokers can be customers, especially when you're a smaller company. You're not going to have direct customers all throughout the country. So having good brokers, especially smaller brokers, you're not going to have TQL as a good broker. Just not going to happen, okay? You're not going to have a good relationship, not as a small company with a company like TQL or King of Freight. But you can get a good one with the small guys, with the little 3, 4, 5 broker setups, especially in areas, right? Because you might be going to, I don't know, let's make some small town in Oklahoma, and you might haul a load out of there. You call on a load, it's a small broker that's based, look at their address. Is it based in that area? If it is, more than likely they're local. Talk to them, chat with them on the phone, BS with them a little bit. Be like, hey, we got 3 trucks, we're a small company, you're a small company. We understand each other. Let's communicate. We're in this area frequently. And then when you're going in that area, you can call that broker and they'll give you loads before they put them on the board. So build relationships. Brokers can be customers. Now, obviously, you want to supplement as much with directs as you can. But yeah, so we're doing okay. As of right now, I would say we're not in any danger of being one of those YouTube people that goes out. We've got all 3 trucks operating. I have a 3rd guy being hired. I'm going to be getting out of the truck permanently. That was ultimately the plan. I say permanently, I'm still going to be driving, but it's going to be very rare. It'll be true hot shots for local customers, that type of thing. So there's a quick little road trip update for you. Now, plan for next videos. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm at home right now, you can see. So you guys will be seeing my video on my cost per mile calculator, and I will be uploading it for you guys to use. Please use it. Please watch my video on it and watch it thoroughly. Because if you put the wrong info in there, you're going to get the wrong info out. You need to make sure that you put the right numbers in. I will be open, you know, I'm open to helping you too. If you have a question about it, you can feel free to ask me. I'm going to do a video proving my point, and I'm open to being proven wrong, that partials are stupid for Hotshot. Okay, I'm going to try to pull some off of real life data, try to build a load off of just some load boards for you guys, and actually prove that that partials are stupid in this industry. You shouldn't be partialing for Hotshot. I don't understand that. And I'm going to be doing a video on. So we're talking partials. There's a video on. I can't remember now. I should have wrote it down, and I didn't write it down. There you go. So yeah, we're going to be doing the cost per mile before I leave. And we're going to be doing a proving that partials are, I've done videos on it, but I see so many people flexing on Facebook about partials, and they don't understand that they're running themselves out of business. And brokers are making a killing. And okay, I'm going to do a video on that too. I'm going to do a video talking about brokers. That might be on the road. Maybe I'll just do that one talking about brokers. But brokers... Long story short here, brokers are not evil, okay? They're doing a job. They can be resourceful and useful. I think the majority of brokers out there are unethical, okay? That's what I think. We try to pair up with the ones that are not unethical. Let me give you an example. I'm looking at becoming an agent to broker, right? If I get one of my loads, I'll give you a perfect example. We took a load for $2,800 going 460 miles, okay? It was a true hotshot load. One load weighed 600 pounds. We moved the pallets around. There were three boxes. We loaded them by hand. Okay, that's a hotshot load. Dedicated trailer, of course. If I'm brokering that load out, right, I'm going to make some money. It's 460 miles. I know the lane rate there is 250 a mile. You know, I could honestly put that load up for $1,000 and someone would take it, right? But to me, that's unethical. I'm not going to keep $1,800 of a $2,800 load and give the carrier. I might keep some money. You know, I might keep $800, $850, put it out there for $1,950. You think that any trucker on the load board is going to be upset about $1,950 in a lane that pays $1,000 for something that weighs 300 pounds? Absolutely not. And I think personally, I think that's not unethical. You know, I'm paying a very, very good amount, but there are brokers that keep as much as they want, and I don't view keeping over 50%. When the guy that's actually doing that work on that specific load has the most costs on that load, you know, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. So I think that, however, I'd like to put a little asterisk here, and we'll talk about it in that video. There's a lot of trucking companies that are very unethical. A lot of trucking companies. In fact, I would say most trucking companies, small trucking companies, are unethical. So, you know, we sit here and we cry and complain about these brokers who are keeping a ton of money, and then we take dedicated loads and we put another load on there. We take a load that specifically says this is dedicated. And I see it all the time on Facebook. People are like, oh, you got room for another one. No, I don't. It's dedicated. That extra 30 feet of space, that they paid for it. Right? Yeah, but they don't have to know. Pick it up and drop it off. That's what people say. These are the same people that complain about unethical brokers. That's an unethical business practice. They paid for, I agreed to a pay rate. Now, if they're paying low and I say, look, you know, you're paying below lane rate, $200 below lane rate. You're asking for a dedicated truck. That's not a dedicated truck rate. I can move it, but you got to be okay with me putting another load on. If they say yes, that's fine. Well, now there's where I start getting my partials. I've just got a load that's about paying lane rate, and I can partial it with another load. But I'm not going to take a load that they're paying for a dedicated rate, and I agree to it at a dedicated rate, and then complain, and then get another load, and then complain about unethical brokers. So if you're doing that and you're complaining about brokers, you're just as crooked as they are. Okay. So that's it for today. Was supposed to be a short video. I think it went a little longer. Next video will be cost per mile calculator. Finally, it took a while, and then the next video will be putting to bed this whole partial thing. Love to get some information from someone, and then the third one I'm gonna do another just talking video about brokers. So thank you all for watching, and we will grab my little pen, turn this thing off, and we'll talk to you all later.